Over the next few episodes, we're going to be working on an infinitive scroll functionality. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do is just go into our Livewire uh, part and create a component. So make Livewire. We want to set this inside the components folder. And if we take a look at how we have structured this folder in here, we have, in this case, got tweets where we have tweet and everything there. So what we want to go ahead and do in here is we want to have a timeline chunk component, which is going to go ahead and chunk things for our infinitive scroll functionality. But before we even get started with that, we want to take a look at from the front end perspective of how we would do that. So the first video here would just be setting things up, not actually getting it working. And then over the next few videos, we will get it working, and we will also have to head into our timeline and refactor this code so that we can listen for deleted, added, and uh, retweets and so on being appended into here, because we're not going to be using a collection when we are done with this to add infinitive scroll. So let's get started with installing the relevant code here. So first and foremost, inside our app.js, we can go ahead and install a directive here. So we want to have a plugin essentially for this. So I'm going to go ahead and use npm install here. And we just want to go ahead and install an Alpine plugin here, which is called Intersect. That's going to allow us to use an Intersect observer, which uses the Intersection Observer API. So what we can go ahead and do now is just say import Intersect from here. We can then say Alpine plugin Intersect, just like that. So what that allows us to do now is to essentially set up an intersection observer. So inside our timeline.blade.php, we have this condition here. We're actually going to be chunking this so that it can work super smoothly and really fast and without creating a hassle in terms of loading a lot of queries through. So what we want to go ahead and do inside our timeline file is, for now, we will leave this out for now, but what we want to go ahead and do is we want to have a div in here. And let's add a class in here with a translate y of 32. And we don't want to have anything inside this div for now. We just want to add this in here. This is an intersection observer we're going to use. So we're going to have x intersect, and we're going to say wire load more. So inside timeline now, we should be able to create a function to load more. So all we want to do in here for now is just an empty function, and in the next video we will start working on actually loading more and chunking things. But what we want to do in here is just, if there's no more pages, return null. And if we have any more pages, we just want to increment it by 1. That's basically it. We also want to have a boolean in here, which is going to call has more pages. And in this case, we can just call this by saying a public int up here. By default, it should be equal to 1. And down here, we just need to check, in this case, return this page. And sorry, we don't want to have this as plural, we want to have this as singular. And then this could be greater than counts of the chunks. And we can go ahead now and say public array chunks equal to an empty array. So for now, that's essentially all we're doing here. We're just gonna put our intersect up here inside a function where we check if we have more pages. And then let's end the if down here. And then in the next video, we're gonna start chunking things, and instead of using this like this, we're gonna start changing it around a bit so it works neatly. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.